welcome to Talk a Good Game, and it's the review of Watford 2, West Ham 0. The game was on Halloween, and the only treats were for Watford fans, and there was no tricks at all, apart from James Collins pretending to be a Premiership defender. Maybe a bit harsh, but we'll get on to that. I am Gio, or Red Hammer, as known on hammerschat.com, and I've got the Gonzo, also known as Kris. Kris, good evening, how you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, mate. Yourself?
I'm not too bad. I've also got a new guest with us tonight. New guest, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, how are you? I'm Tarra Scott and I play for West Ham Ladies.
That is an absolutely lovely accent you've got there, Tarra. I do like that accent.
Yeah, we're taking over, aren't we?
Yeah, Kris is outnumbered tonight. But guys, if you're just joining us for the first time, remember to hit that subscribe button and get all our videos direct to your feed. Hammerschat.com, we're going to be starting a new feature as of next week where we're going to be talking to as many West Ham Ladies players over the course of the season, and our first video should be up in the middle of next week, so keep your eyes out for that. Tarra will be on in a couple of weeks' time. Well, the team news came out. Andy Carroll started as Diafasako was out, but he's expected to be back for the Everton game, and we had Moses came in for Zarate, which probably pissed off Kris a little bit. We'll have a look at that. Kris, Adrian was called into action quite early, saved Ake's header, and then Carroll had to almost head off the line, if you like, and then Anya beat Tompkins. Adrian would be quick off his line. Warning signs were there, weren't they, Kris?
They were. Yeah. I was worried, having said that, I was scrambling around to get this extreme. It was hard to really get what was going on in those early stages, but yeah, it was a bit of a worry, and I was thinking this might be Bournemouth all over again.
Yeah, you were at the game, Tarra. You must have been a bit worried as well. I know you were late to get into the ground, but surely from when you were on, it must have been all Watford, was it?
Yeah, it was quite painful to watch, to be honest. It was difficult. West Ham just didn't start at all throughout the whole game, to be honest. Watford were applying a lot of pressure constantly. It was just not falling for West Ham whatsoever. I just couldn't get the ball down, play. Yeah, it was pretty painful.
Yeah, well, Andy Carroll did try and get the ball down and play. Unfortunately, it was on our own goal line.
Yeah.
Well, he got robbed a bit. Ball went in, and you can debate whether it was an own goal or Igaho, or however you say the name, scored. It's up to you who you decide, but it was coming. They deserved it. Half-time, however, Kris, we did 2 subs. You might have been a bit happy to see Valencia and Zarate come on for Lanzini and Moses. Did you agree with that at the time?
Well, he always does an attacking substitution, Bilic, doesn't he? I think that's right, and we've got to commend him for that. I was a little bit disappointed to see Valencia playing on the left side again, because Valencia's got a lot of attributes. He's very, very quick. He's got a really good shot, but he can't really dribble or cross. So I do think it's a funny, as played out later on in the game, of course. So it was funny to see him on the left. But I thought Zarate should have started anyway, because he played so well in the previous games.
Tarra, what about you at half-time? Do you think that was the right subs by Bilic?
Yeah, obviously he had his reasons to put them on, but I would quite like to see Antonio getting put on played. Obviously he's not had any game time, really. I'd quite like to see him getting a shot in there, see what he's capable of doing. I think he could possibly maybe stabilise it a bit, spice it up a bit, but obviously he's made his decisions, so...
Yeah, he lives by his own sword, I guess. At the time I thought, well, what are we doing here? Because all he's doing is like-for-like subs, and I thought it was more the shape that wasn't working, as well as personnel, but Lanzini was awfully quiet, and to me that means that there's something wrong with the shape of the team, because he's not someone that ducks out of games, if you like. He's very consistent, Lanzini. So when you did those subs, I did think, well, you're just taking off players and putting players on in their position, but you need to change the game. We'll talk about Carroll a bit later on, and this will link into that. The second goal came not long after half-time, actually. It probably killed us. Tompkins missed the cross. Really good finish. Adrian had no chance, I don't think. 2-0. And then Adrian saved a one-on-one to stop him getting his hat-trick. Kris, did you ever think we were ever getting back into that game? It was 2-0 pretty quick, but do you think we ever looked like creating anything?
Well, they're 2 different things. Yeah, I don't think we ever looked like getting back into the game, but I did have believed that we would, and I thought the substitutions would impact the game in some way. I mean, it didn't really happen, did it? And you said about the shape. I thought Andy Carroll was far too isolated up there if you're going to play with an isolated striker that's basically going to play on his own in the opposition half, you've got to be quick, and we missed Sacco there. I think the moment Sacco's injured, you've got to play Carroll. You've got to give him some support, someone to play off him that he can nod the ball down. So he was on his own for far too long. So, but you know, Bilic has done so well. He's got a bit of credit in the bank, and he's earned the right to get it wrong. You know.
Tarra, Valencia went down from a cross and then a bit of handbags. But do you think it was a penalty from where you were?
No, I don't think it was a penalty, to be honest. But to be fair, it was at the opposite end of the field from where I was, so I didn't see it proper clearly. But from my initial viewing of it, I didn't think it was a penalty. No.
No, I don't think so either. Then he hit the post. Carroll held the ball almost. Bilic came on for no ball, did nothing but stand offside for a couple of times. Pretty much the only time I've seen him. Could have been 3-0 right at the death. Jenkinson's header pretty much saved the goal, I think. But anyway, let's talk about the players. We'll start with yourself, Tarra. Kris in the past has been very critical of Enner Valencia. He's already had a wee dig at him there, saying he can't dribble and can't pass. How you can be a footballer and not have to pass, I don't know. What's your opinion? Do you think he was rushed in a bit more? Because he was very rusty today. There was a few first touches that were awful. But what do you think of Valencia, Tarra?
To be fair, I don't think he was the only one that was had a few bad touches. I think there was a lot of unforced errors in the team today, which obviously made our life difficult anyway. But Valencia as a player, I think he can still learn a lot. I think he's probably still got a bit of improving to do. However, I think there's definitely a place in the team for him. I think it just comes with experience, doesn't it? I rate him as a player, but as I say, I think he could probably improve a bit, but can't we all?
Yeah, very true. I don't think anyone really came out of credit that game. Kris, I am not James Collins' biggest fan, and after the Crystal Palace game I said that we should still get rid of him, even though people were praising him. I still thought that he did 2 glaring errors in that game, but got brushed over due to the fact that we won and none of them let her go. Is it just me, or was he absolutely awful today? I think he got turned inside out more than my pair of socks do. Kris, what do you make of Collins today?
He did, but in many respects I've been sort of dreading going on to the Hammers chat player assessment thing with the player ratings, because I was thinking, what on earth would you score? Because nobody played well. So no, Collins didn't play well, but neither did Tompkins. I just think it's probably given the man. Collins deserved to be in because of how well he'd played, and yes, you're right, he made a couple of individual errors, but players are going to do that anyway. But I think it probably now gives Bilic the opportunity to say, right, I'm going to put Ogbonna and Reed back in there, and he could replace anyone in that team today, and nobody could complain because they were all really off it.
Tarra, soft red card?
No, I think it was a red card. It happened pretty much just in front of me. Yeah, he did go through that player.
I thought it was a soft red card, actually. I thought it was a booking, certainly, but I was surprised to see the red come out. Kris, what do you make of that? Do you think it was a red, or do you think it was a bit soft?
No, I thought it was a hatchet job. I thought he took. I mean, he was clumsy and he deserved to go.
Why? On what grounds was that a red card, though, Tarra? Like, all I seen was he got skinned, but he clattered into him, but his feet were both on the ground. He was almost standing up.
Yeah, but he went straight through the player, didn't he? From my point of view, from where I seen it, as soon as it happened, I was like, that's red, he's going.
I thought James Tompkins' tackle on the edge of our box on the Galho was worse when the referee told him, get up. I thought he completely snapped him in half. I was expecting at least a yellow card for that one. Kris, is that the first game that we played crap for 90 minutes? We obviously were poor against Bournemouth and Leicester. In the first half, I think in both those games you could say that we played well in the second half. Same with Sunderland even. Norwich, we were average in both halves, but I think that's the first game for me anyway under Bilic that over the 90 minutes I thought we were just terrible.
Well, there was nothing really to grasp, was there? There weren't really any positives to take from the game. I really am struggling to think of, apart from the keeper, maybe I'm struggling to think of anybody that played well. But do you know what? I mean, you know what? We go again, and yes, it was a poor performance. And I just hope. I mean, I'm actually down to go to all the next 4 games as well, and I'm taking my son to see the Everton game. So I really hope we can get it in order by then. You know.
Tarra, no sitting on the fence. Did Bilic get it wrong before the game in terms of tactics?
I I don't think he got it wrong. I think perhaps it should have been changed when he's seen that it wasn't working. Perhaps, like you said, change the formation, change the shape. I think it was difficult for us to get into the game because Watford were just hungrier, they wanted the ball more, they were first to every ball. As soon as they lost it, they were closing down, they were pressing, they were high pressing. They really did make it difficult for us, and it really did sort of stop our flow. And I think that's probably the first time maybe even this season, that they've properly had a lot of pressure on them as soon as they've lost the ball. Like, literally, as soon as they lost the ball, there was a Watford player straight up his back, looking to get the ball back.
I think that's a good point, because we're very quick to complain that no one gives West Ham credit over the last few games. Like when Chelsea, we beat Chelsea, it was all about how poor Chelsea played. I think you've got a good point there about praising Watford. I thought they were fantastic, as well as picking holes in our own team. I have to say well done to Watford. They got it bang on. For me, I think he got it wrong by putting a Carroll-shaped peg in a Sacco-shaped hole, if that makes sense. I think he put Carroll in, expecting him to do the same.
Careful where you're going with this one.
But I think he tried to put Carroll in Sacco's position and expect him to do the same job that Sacco's been doing, and they're just completely different types of players. Carroll won over half his aerial battles today, and not once can I remember someone getting on the end of it. Now, some of those aerial battles were in our own box defending a corner, though, to be fair. But there was a few instances he flicked on. I remember one of the first time flicked on, and Payet was just standing there, and the ball just went all the way through to Gomez, and he was turning around to Payet to say, "Get behind me. You know, this is how I play. I will flick it on, get on the end of it." But I think the only two players come out positives for me was Adrian and Creswell. I thought Creswell was fine, didn't do anything wrong. I thought he was going to struggle because, as Tarra will know, Anya has got blistering pace. I've seen him do it time and time again for Scotland. He caused Germany problems, and if you can do it up against the world champions, you can do it up against Tarra and Creswell. But I thought Creswell was fine against him. I think we're all going to say the same, but instead of saying man of match for West Ham, man of match for the whole game, include your Watford players in this one. Kris, man of match.
It's got to be Alex Long, because just by his very nature of not being there, he looks a lot better. Anyone that wasn't involved is man of the match. It was poor. You can't give anyone man of the match. Got to go to a Watford player.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm asking. Pick a Watford player.
The good one, the striker, not Deeney, the other one.
Yeah, you've got to try and pronounce his name. I've had to try and pronounce it.
Igloo.
That'll do. Tara, what's your man of match?
Yeah, same for me between him and Anya. Both of them. Anya caused problems all day long. His pace. I think that was a problem as well throughout the game. Watford's pacey up front just killed West Ham's defence. Because every time they got that ball, they were just off and leaving us standing, to be honest. So yeah, definitely Anya and the striker that I'm not pronouncing.
We'll just call him Igloo. I thought their left back was very good. Chelsea's best defender this weekend anyway, that Ake. I thought he was fantastic against Moses. Didn't give him a sniff, set up the goal right again, just displayed pure desire to get the ball and stop Andy Carroll fucking around in his own box, if you like. That's it from me and Kris. But Tarra, are you confident against Everton? Do you think we'll bounce back?
Yeah, it's football. We can't win them all, but I'm fairly confident that we can bounce back and get another win. So yeah. Easy.
Well, thank you very much for giving up your time and joining us tonight. Did the development team have a game tomorrow?
They do indeed, yep. Flanders, 2 o'clock kick-off.
Well, good luck with that. Kris, I'll see you again on Tuesday night. Thank you for joining us.
Look forward to it. See you, mate.
And Hammers Chat will be back next week with the preview of the Everton game and with our first interviews of the West Ham ladies. Hopefully it will be a good one. It could be crap, but don't miss it anyway. And remember, and hit the subscribe button. And come on over to hammerschat.com and join with the interaction. Good night.